What's up, my precious little pack, and welcome back to VEGA Conflict. Okay, to start things off, I'm going to go over the Plant Strike prize list, and I'm going to tell you exactly what you're going to need, because I'm going to tell you a fitting at the end of this video that you're going to want to start producing as soon as possible. And you're going to need to wait for a different Plant Strike rotation to get something else, but the first thing you're going to need, Impulse Beam level 2 and level 3, it's going to be necessary. Next up, you're going to want Bomber Squadron level 2 and level 3. So that's it from that list. And was there anything from Sector Strike that was needed that I noted? Aside from Spectre Wings for the base, nope. Alright. The fitting you're going to be taking is going to be a Revelation Cruiser. You're going to be putting 2 level 2 impulse beams on it, and then 2 level 3. The next thing you're going to need the Spectral Shield level 5, which is 3 searchable. You're going to need it on the ship twice, and that's all you're going to have on the Revelation. Now for the Carrier, you have 2 potential fittings for this Carrier, and I'll tell you the targets you're going to be fighting with this fleet later, because I have to do another review of the upcoming Decimation price list, as well as what I'm going to be hitting and what I would recommend. But you're going to want, if you do not have any major carriers, work towards unlocking the Midgard for this, because you're going to want the agility support, because you can't put anything else on those cruisers because they're going to be almost maxed out mass-wise, so you can't put anything else on. And that is an unmarked upgraded Revelation hull that you're going to be using. But you're going to need the Midgard or the Ragnarok, and if you take the Midgard, you're going to need Fusion Thrusters 3 to fit on its special slot. You're going to need either Metaphase 3, or you're going to put Spectral Shell 5 on it, just like the rest of them. And then you're going to put Bomber Squadron 2 on it, just to help keep the weight down, but to allow it to have damage per second, so that what you'll do is you'll keep it on the outer edge of the fight, but allow it to assist in some way. Now in the case of the Ragnarok, you're going to fit it with 4 Bomber Squadron level 3s or level 2s. You're going to fit it with a Metaphase or a Spectral Shell or a Spectral Shield. You're going to put Fusion Thrusters 3 on it. And again, this is unmarked upgraded. For the fitting with the Midgard, you're going to have to mark upgrade because it will not have enough mass, unless you want to ditch the squadrons, in which case then it will. But I'd rather have a little bit more firepower in the fleet. And what you're going to do is you're going to produce 5 of the Revelations under the building I told you, of the Impulse Beam level 2x2, level 3x3, well, 2. Spectral Shield 5x2, and nothing else. And then you're going to produce either of the carriers I suggested, and your target will actually be during Alien Strike, and what you're going to be attacking is going to be the Reaper 55s. And what you're going to do is you're going to spread the primary group of the ships up a little bit. You're going to take the cruisers and you're going to have them in a slight star formation. So you're going to have, let's assume that it's all like this. You're going to take one, you're going to put it here, you're going to put another one here, you're going to put another one here, you're going to put another one here, and another one here. And you're going to actually take your carrier and have it go down off over here. So these ones are still in the support field. Now, after the first initial engagement and the alien, one of the Reapers, engages any of your ships, activate the AI right then and there. Let the Revelations do their work. The only thing you need to do is ensure that Midgard Carrier or Ragnarok Carrier does not close in on the Reapers, because if it does, they may re-auto target onto it and ignore your Revelations, and the Revelations are going to be the primary damage source for this fitting. And if the Spectral Shell 5 is actually more than enough by 2, you can actually drop the Spectral Shell down and have a level 5 and level 4 on it if it's more than enough, even at that point. And then you can equip an additional Impulse Beam level 3, so you'll have 3 level 3s and 1 level 2 on your Revelations. And these are all unmarked upgraded ships again. Unless you want to take the Midgard and upgrade it just so you can add squadrons to have a little bit more damage per second even from it in the fleet. But what are you going to be targeting? Well, I'll actually talk about that when there's actually an alien strike up, because I'm going to point out what would be viable at any given time. Alright, on to the next part of the video. Load. There we go. Decimation. The prize list for it, as well as recommended targets and things like that. Now this is if you actually have a Axis or a other fleet. I'm going to assume you have at least tier 6, so Xeno Division as the base for it. Alright, let's jump right down to the prizes first. Recommendations? Easy. If you can't get the Bastion Cruiser, pick up the individual pieces. And yes, I'm going to recommend that. If you can't actually get the cruiser itself, get the pieces if you can get all of them, so you only need 2 during the next time they're available. Second, make sure you pick up at least 3 Spectral Resonant Armors, because you want at least 1 fitting for a Bastion that's going to be heavily energy resistant. Or, if you do not want to go with that, and you want to focus on actually buying and building each one, go with Resonant Armor level 1 and level 2. Spectral Shell Shield level 3 still has yet to show up because I haven't seen it since last month? Let's see. Yeah, around that time. But each of the other shields are available up to level 3. Let's see. Actually, that's about it. That's about all that I'd recommend. The Bastion Cruiser. Oh, its weapon. Where are you at? Right down here. The Epsilon Echo Cannons. I'd recommend picking up both level 1 and level 2. So the list is essentially from here to here. You want to pick up everything, including the Spectral Shell Armor, the shields. You want to pick up the Bastion, which is up here. If you can't get the cruiser blueprint, then at least get the individual pieces. And then that's about it for that fitting. Now, recommended targets, because you're going to be targeting the Bastions out actually during the phases. I'd recommend going after, depending on what you can hit, either the Altarian 50s or the Axis Deceiver 50s. And the points payout between them all being the same, that's a little bit odd to me. They shouldn't be like that. The Vanguard should actually reward more. Well, actually, the one that rewards higher damage should reward more. So I'd have to test, see which one I take more damage from, and then say that one should be more. But now for the higher level players that are hitting it, if you're just barely getting into the Altarian faction, but you have good fleets that can fight them, start going up against the 70s, 80s, and potentially 90s if possible, and see if you... and what you're going to do is you're going to try and get 5 70s for enough Mark boxes to get a single Mark II. You're going to need 10 80s and 15 90s to go all the way up to Mark IV. Now, if you're going to go after the Altarian 100, assuming the boxes still drop the standard 4 to 5 pieces per box with a minimum of 4, you can actually count on having to get about 35 boxes, so you'll have to hit about 35 targets. But at the same time, you'll be able to, by the time you're done, you should be able to produce an elite mark credit for it as well. So along with getting the Mark V, you'll be able to produce the Mark VI credit. Along with that, you'll be getting your Xeno Epsilon cannons and things like that. Now, if you can't fight the Vanguards because they're too overpowered, I would recommend waiting for the Brigades. I have actually hit the Brigades up to the 90s, and I can do them with reasonably low repair time with my main fleet without my Bastion being in it. And the points payout is good. The damage ratio is good. However, if you're going to be hitting them, I'd recommend going 5 70s, 10 80s, and then 15 90s so you can get at least one Paragon Mark IV. I haven't hit any of the Altarian Regiment fleets, but from what I've been hearing and seeing from what other people were doing, unless you have a heavy Altarian fleet, you're going to get your butt whooped. Or if you don't have a high-end fleet of even Axis fleets, so Mark VI, fully armored, fully shielded, and just built to brawl. But that's going to be it for that, and now back to the Planet Strike, well, the fleet build. The targets, as I said, are going to be the Reaper 55s during Alien Strike. And the reason I decided to go with the Reaper 55s over Hives was due to the points payout and just simply changing how the fitting is. You'd be able to ensure low repair time, and if you actually want to use the exact same fitting as Hives, you should be able to. Just pay attention to where you put your carrier and have it so it's outside the maximum range of the hive and have your cruisers go in to deal with the hives. So make sure the carrier is outside the maximum range, and then just deal with the rest of it with the cruisers. But that's going to be it for this video, everybody. If you have anything to add or have any questions, go ahead and say so below in the comments section. If you liked what you saw, feel free to leave a like and subscribe for more. If you have any questions regarding builds, fittings, or anything like that, or any questions that I may know or someone else may know, feel free to ask below again. And as always, everybody, I'll see you later.